Stop scrolling, because this week the cruise world has been shaken by tragedy, heartbreak, and controversy. From a rogue wave disaster in Tenerife that left families shattered, to the mysterious death of an 18-year-old aboard the Carnival Horizon, and a shocking cruise tax crisis in Iceland that's forcing ships to abandon one of the world's most beloved destinations, it's been one of the toughest weeks the industry has seen in years. Hey cruisers, this is Cruise Advisor. If you love honest cruise news, insider updates, and real talk about what's happening at sea, make sure to hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and join our growing community of travelers who refuse to miss a single update from the oceans. Now, let's dive into our first story. And trust me, it's a tough one.
1. The Tenerife rogue wave disaster. It started as a calm, sunlit afternoon on the coast of Tenerife, one of the Canary Islands' most visited cruise destinations. The ocean looked peaceful. The air was warm. Families strolled along the promenade, tourists sipped drinks in beach cafés, and cruise passengers, some from ships docked just miles away, wandered the coastal streets, taking photos of the Atlantic. Then, without warning, the sea turned violent. A massive rogue wave, far higher and faster than anything predicted, slammed into the shoreline with terrifying force. It surged over seawalls and barriers, sweeping away tables, chairs, beachgoers, and, tragically, several people straight into the ocean. Witnesses described it as a wall of water, like something out of a movie. Videos show the chaos, cars pushed inland, concrete railings shattered, people screaming and running for safety as the water surged through the streets. Among those caught in the disaster were cruise passengers who had come ashore for a few hours of sightseeing. For some, those moments turned fatal. Spanish emergency services confirmed multiple injuries and several deaths, and rescue divers spent hours searching the turbulent waters for missing individuals. Meteorologists later revealed that the Canary Islands were under a high surf warning due to powerful Atlantic swells, with waves exceeding 6 meters, around 20 feet. But this rogue wave was different, unpredictable, sudden and concentrated. It struck without the gradual buildup usually seen in storm surges. Officials have since launched investigations into how tourists were allowed so close to the waterfront despite the alerts. Locals are mourning, describing it as the worst coastal incident in recent memory. For the cruise community, the Tenerife disaster is a sobering reminder that even the calmest shores can hide sudden, merciless danger, and that the ocean's beauty and brutality often exist side by side.
2. Carnival Horizon tragedy. Aboard the Carnival Horizon, laughter and music usually echo through the decks. It's one of Carnival's flagship vessels, a floating city of entertainment carrying thousands of guests through the Caribbean's turquoise waters. But one voyage turned heartbreakingly silent. During a week-long sailing that included stops in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico, 18-year-old passenger Anna Kepner was found unresponsive in her cabin. Medical teams were called immediately. Despite efforts to revive her, she was pronounced dead on board. The news spread quickly through the ship, and the festive atmosphere changed instantly. Passengers later said the captain's announcement of a medical emergency was followed by a haunting quiet across the public areas. Once the ship returned to Miami, the FBI boarded to investigate, as is protocol whenever a U.S. citizen dies unexpectedly at sea. So far, no details have been publicly confirmed about the cause of death. Carnival released a brief statement expressing their condolences and pledging full cooperation with authorities. But behind the headlines lies something deeper, the unsettling reality that tragedies like this, though rare, do happen on cruise ships. Each time they do, they expose the vulnerabilities of life at sea, limited medical resources, complex jurisdictional rules, and the emotional toll on everyone aboard. Fellow passengers took to social media expressing shock and sadness, many saying they hugged their own families tighter that night. Parents across the cruising community have since asked, How prepared are ships for sudden medical emergencies involving young passengers? As investigators work to uncover what happened, the loss of Anna Kepner serves as a heartbreaking reminder that even amid paradise, the sea holds stories of both joy and unimaginable grief.
3. Iceland's cruise tax crisis. Tourism on the brink. For years, Iceland has been the crown jewel of North Atlantic cruising, a land of glaciers, volcanic peaks, and endless summer light. Thousands of travelers each season arrived by ship, docking in Reykjavik, Akureyri, and the remote northern port of Ísafjörður, bringing with them life and income to small communities. But all that is changing fast. The Icelandic government has announced a new infrastructure tax on visiting cruise ships, claiming it's necessary to fund environmental protection and maintain the country's fragile natural landscapes. In principle, few disagree. Iceland's tourism boom has strained its roads, ports, and ecosystems. But the tax is steep. So steep that cruise companies are pulling out en masse. Industry reports estimate that cruise visits to Icelandic ports could drop by over 50% in the next year alone. Several major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line, and MSC Cruises, have already begun rerouting itineraries to alternative northern ports in Norway and Scotland. For Iceland's local businesses, it's devastating news. Cruise ships bring hundreds of thousands of tourists each summer. Without them, many small operators, from whale-watching guides to local cafés, face financial ruin. Local officials warned that the tax, while environmentally motivated, could become economically disastrous. And for travelers, it means fewer opportunities to visit Iceland by sea, and potentially higher fares for the ships that still make the journey. This crisis exposes a growing tension in global tourism: how to preserve natural beauty without pricing people and entire industries out of access to it. If the trend continues, Iceland's once thriving cruise season could soon become a ghost of what it was, a quiet reminder that even well-intentioned policies can reshape the map of world travel.
4. Virgin Voyages flight cancellation relief, a rare customer-friendly move. While much of the cruise news this week has been tragic, there's at least one bright spot, and it comes from Virgin Voyages. With flight cancellations and airport chaos caused by the ongoing government shutdown, countless travelers have been missing their cruises through no fault of their own. But Virgin Voyages has stepped in with a rare policy that's winning praise. The line announced that any guest who misses their sailing because of a verified flight cancellation will receive a future voyage credit, essentially allowing them to rebook without losing their money. It's important to note, airfare itself won't be reimbursed, but Virgin's decision to honor the missed cruise fare stands out in an industry that typically enforces strict no-show penalties. With 3 ships home-ported in Miami, Scarlet Lady, Valiant Lady, and Resilient Lady, the move could protect hundreds of guests from losing thousands of dollars amid widespread travel disruptions. At a time when passengers have been frustrated by rising fees and tighter rules, Virgin's gesture feels refreshingly human, and it's setting a new standard for how cruise lines might treat their guests when travel chaos hits.
4 stories. 4 tragedies, in 3 very different forms. A rogue wave in Tenerife showing us the raw, unstoppable power of nature. A young life lost aboard Carnival Horizon, reminding us that tragedy can strike anywhere. And an economic storm in Iceland, proving that the ripple effects of decisions on land can reshape life at sea. It's been a tough week for the cruise world, but it's also a reminder of why we stay informed, because every voyage, every headline, and every story at sea matters. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, don't forget to subscribe to Cruise Advisor, where we bring you the latest cruise news, the truth behind corporate changes, and the human stories that make the ocean what it is. And before you go, check out our next video, where we bring to you the story of the floating palace that never sinks, which was a bold and false claim for SS Andrea Doria. Watch and let us know about your experience. Until next time,
I'm your cruise advisor. Stay safe, stay informed, and always respect the sea.